Welcome to Accel Pkt number 4, page 21. On this page, we're going to be using the formula K times X equals Y. We know that K represents a rate. Please jot down these notes. Now, a rate can be given in several different forms. A rate can be given as a fraction, such as 1/2, as a decimal, such as 0.5, or as a percent, such as 50%. So a rate can take on many different forms. In this particular set of problems, we are going to be looking at the following I can statement. Given a rate R and a total T, I can find part of the total. And remember, when we're talking about a rate, it can take on the form of a fraction, the form of a decimal, or the form of a percent, such as 50%. So, we're going to take this formula we've used so much this year, and we're going to rename the variables. Instead of K times X equals Y, we're going to let the K be known as the rate, and we'll use the letter R for rate. X, in each case, will represent the total. So instead of X, we will use the variable T. And for Y, that will represent the part. So instead of Y, we will use the letter P. So our formula that we'll be using is R times T equals P. R stands for rate, T stands for the total amount, and P stands for the part we're looking for. Let's work through an example. Draw a tape diagram to represent an entire population. In this case, the entire bar will represent the 600 students total at Washington Middle School. 600 represents your T value, your total amount of students. We're going to take a survey of these 600 students. We would like to know, what's your favorite food? Given the choice, pizza or tacos. When the results come in, we see 40% of the students would like to have tacos, and 60% of the students would like pizza. 60 is a rate, and when we add it to 40, which is another rate, that's 100% of our population. Each of those are a rate. This rate represents pizza, and 40%, that rate represents tacos. We can convert each of these rates to a decimal. If we move the decimal point 2 places on 60%, we get a decimal rate of 0.60. And for tacos, 40% is the rate. But let's convert that to its decimal equivalent, which is 0.40. We will use the decimal rates in the formula as we calculate the number of votes for pizza and the number of votes for tacos. Right now, we know that there are 600 students total. Some of those students voted for pizza, and part of those 600 students voted for tacos. Clearly, more students voted for pizza, but what's the actual vote count? Let's calculate it. We're going to use the formula R times T equals P. Please grab a calculator and take down these steps. We would like to know what part of the student body voted for pizza. So we're going to write 0.60, that's the rate for pizza, times 600 students total. And that will give us the part that voted for pizza. Grab your calculator and punch in 0.60 times 600. When you're ready, write it down. You should have gotten 360 students or votes for pizza. That 360 represents the number of students out of 600 who voted for pizza. We can also do the same for tacos, but let's remember to use the rate associated with tacos. Once again, write down your formula. Rate times total equals part. Step 2. Substitute the rate for tacos, 0.40, still times 600 because the total hasn't changed. When you're ready, punch that multiplication problem into your calculator and calculate the number of students who voted for tacos. Pause your video. You should have gotten 240. That means 240 students out of that 600 total voted for tacos. As a double check, add 360 to 240, and you should get a total of 600. Let's check our work. Indeed, the two parts add up to the total. This concludes the introduction.